For today's tutorial, we're going to keep it going with the combination scratches, but this one has a little bit of a twist. This one is called the Boomerang Scratch, and it sounds like this. And once you get it to flow, you can make it sound like this. Good people, what is up, what is happening, hello and how's it? If we haven't met before, I am DJ Shameless, and if we have, welcome back to the channel. Basic concept behind the Boomerang Scratch is that it's a combination scratch of slices and dices, but you also got to do a mirrored version to complete the scratch. And another way to describe the scratch is that it's 2-click flares over baby scratches. And it also can be described as delayed 2-click flares. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to explain it as slices and dices because it's the easiest to explain. So with all that, let's just jump into the tutorial. With the Boomerang Scratch, I'm going to break it down into 4 parts and 2 halves. The first part is the forward slice. So we start the sample off at 12 o'clock and we start with the fader closed. So in order for us to do a forward slice, you move the sample forward and back and move the crossfader open and closed. So you're going to get 2 sounds there. The next part is a forward dice or a 1-click transformer. That's the first half of the boomerang. The second half is the mirrored version of that. So from that position we do a reverse slice and a reverse dice or a reverse 1-click transformer, and end up back at your starting position of 12 o'clock. So a quick recap, we're going to perform a forward slice to a forward dice or a 1-click transformer, and the second half is to reverse that, do a reverse slice to a reverse dice or a reverse 1-click transformer. Those 2 parts together, once you get them smooth, will sound like this. Now at the intermediate stage of the boomerang, we're going to just try and keep that flow going, and we can also start incorporating faster or slower record hand movements to create different tones and textures within the Boomerang Scratch. Also, when you're learning the scratch, it's best to start with the 2 halves separately and leave a small gap in between until you start getting more comfortable doing the full boomerang in one smooth motion. So let's get a metronome going, and we'll start off with the pauses in between the 2 halves of the boomerang, and then we'll slowly move up in speed and timing and including the different tones and textures as well. Now at the advanced stage of the boomerang, we can also start including the previously learned scratches. And if you've noticed that we've been performing baby scratches on the record hand side and laying 2 click flares on top of that to get the boomerang. So the boomerang works very well with other flare techniques such as 2 click flares or 1 click flares. But feel free to come up with your own combinations, including stabs or even tears. Let's do a few combinations on a metronome. And that's the Boomerang Scratch. And as always, once you get comfortable with this technique, please feel free to come up with your own combinations to make the scratch your own. I think for the next tutorial, we're going to expand on the Boomerang Scratch with the Autobahn Scratch. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel and you want to be notified for that first, please consider doing so now. And once again, I'd like to thank all the new subscribers to the channel. You guys are highly appreciated. So until the next one, happy scratching, keep it sharp, and peace.